Radio Live here on a hot Tuesday in eastern North Carolina. Got Shirley Rhodes here, the Chan Man, the big dog Glenn Griffin, and a couple new interns on their first days here in the Pirate Radio studios. And we got to know Micah Dennis a little bit earlier on, and we'll now welcome intern, is it Daniel? Intern Dan?
Intern Dan is quite the name to start off, but let's just go with Danny for now.
Danny. Okay, Danny. Danny, what's your sports background?
Got a little bit of everything. A lot of baseball, a lot of football, a lot of basketball.
You play baseball?
Yeah, I play occasionally, every once in a while.
Who you play with?
Yeah, I play for the East Carolina Pirates. Ever heard of them?
Are you any good?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, you have to ask around, but I'd like to think so.
All right. What do you think, folks? Is intern Danny any good? Danny Beal is here. Any relation to Bradley Beal?
I wish. I do have his basketball jersey hanging in my closet right now, but I'm not related.
Be
I'd like
nice
to get his money.
Get a cousin, check from him on Christmas. Danny, awesome to have you and Micah here, and we're gonna put you to the test on your expertise on the video board, audio board, things like that. Yeah. But we're gonna let you be a part of this interview because you know the guy we're gonna talk to pretty well.
Yeah,
right?
I sure do. Tyler was my roommate this past fall and spring, so we're pretty close, and I know probably more than I should about him, so it's gonna be interesting.
Great. All right. Well, Tyler Bradt joining us, former ECU pitcher, now a member of the St. Louis Cardinals organization. Tyler, appreciate your time. How you doing, man?
Yeah, no problem, Cliff. Love to come on the show.
And it's great to have you. Let's go back to a week or so ago when you hear your name called in the MLB draft. What was that like for you?
I actually just got done running stadiums at the time, and we were about to do the pitching circuit with all the freshmen, and I got the phone call, so it was pretty awesome. You know, I was excited. My family was excited, and it was just something special to be a part of.
Were you expected to hear your name called? What were the conversations like going into the draft, Tyler?
Going into the draft, it was a little bit quiet. I received, 2 or 3 calls about if I was going to sign or not. And I had Coach G call me too as well and made sure that I wasn't going to sign for anything that wasn't worth me. So he looked out for me on that part. And then kind of day 2 of the draft came around and the calls started to pick up a little bit.
Interesting process. A lot of things to figure out, right, Tyler? So then how about, leading up to that call? Were there other teams that you had spoken to interested in you, or when did you know it was going to be St. Louis?
So I talked to St. Louis on day 2 in the 10th round, and then I also talked to the Blue Jays at the same time. And then they said they were both going to give me a call back on day 3, which is what happened, and St. Louis was the best option for me.
Awesome. All right. So what's it been like since getting that call? Where are you now, and what are you up to?
So I'm in Jupiter, Florida right now. It's kind of a quick turnaround. I had to move out of the house, go back to South Carolina, and then jump on a plane the next day. We just got here. Just got done doing all my physicals and all the introductory stuff, little orientation. And the last 2 days I've gotten up to go to the complex and throw and do a couple baseball things, which has been fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tyler Bradt joining us, and how much of it was just not wanting to live with Danny Beal anymore?
That played a big part of it. But Danny was a great roommate. And
okay, dude, enough.
When I came there in the summer, Danny was the first person I met, so it was awesome.
All right, good recruiting job, I guess, by you, Danny.
It was interesting because it was me, Cam Claunch, Tyler, and then Garrett Chandler, who played with us at ECU when he was a freshman, our freshman year, the 2021 year. But yeah, so we were all at summer ball, Claunch and I were. So he was at our house alone for an entire summer, just living in a brand new house in a brand new place with nobody to really know. And I came and visited one weekend, and I was like, hey, I'm the guy you're going to be living with for the next year or so. So nice to finally meet you. And he had his whole Xbox set up in his room, and his room was set up, and his girlfriend came to visit a couple of times, so he wasn't too lonely. But I'd like to think that he made himself at home.
That is awesome. And Tyler, how about your brief but fun and productive time here at ECU? What was it like for you here in Greenville?
Oh, man, it was awesome. I got to experience something I've never experienced in college baseball, and that goes to the fans. The hard work that this program puts in, the coaching staff, the attention to detail, and least of all, winning. So it was a great spot for me to come and experience.
Tyler, I was looking earlier today back and kind of just going over your stats and things like that, and watched the highlights from the North Carolina game in Chapel Hill early in the year, and you guys able to win your second in a row against them. And I know you came in a big spot there, got some outs, couldn't quite finish it, but Carter Spivey had your back there. But you were pretty emotional in that game. How about that game and other memories you're going to have from your time here?
Oh, that was a great game to be a part of. So I pitched against UNC a couple times in my career, and that was the first time I actually had to come out of the bullpen against UNC. And I came into a jam, got us out of the jam, and then kind of put us in a jam and handed the ball over to Cutter Spivey, and that was exciting, and he kind of cleaned it up for me. But that was one of my biggest moments as a Pirate, and also goes back to that Friday night game against them too. Sold out crowd. It's just something awesome to be a part of.
The life of a pitcher, right, Danny? Yeah, you get out of a jam, put somebody else in a jam, you never know, right?
Yeah, it's the life of being a Pirate pitcher. It's the same thing. Me and Jay Cunner always give each other a hard time that whenever I come in to clean up his mess, and he'll always come in and manage a way to give up all my runs, but none of his when he comes in to pick my mess up. So it's kind of funny.
Those stats are misleading sometimes.
Oh, they
are. Talking to Tyler Bradt, got Danny Bill here. Danny, all right, fire away. What are your professional interview questions for Tyler Bradt?
Tyler, my first question is, what's the first thing you're going to use to buy with your signing bonus?
I need to buy a new pitching wedge, a couple sand irons, and an 8 and a 9 iron. So that's what I think I'm going to do with mine.
I just think you need a whole new bag. I mean, we need to really work on your touch and your golf game. So I think that's a good place to start.
Just get golf.
Yeah, might need to give up golf to begin with.
No, we're not going to give it up, but a lesson or two might help.
Do you know at this point, Tyler, how much golf will you be able to do here in the next few months, and what's your schedule going to be like here the rest of the way?
So right now it's a lot of early mornings. Get to the complex before that Florida heat starts. Get real bad, and we do everything. We get done about 2:00. So I have usually the afternoons off to myself, but that's for right now. I mean, next week I could be playing with the Palm Beach Cardinals, which is their low A team, and to finish the season with them to get a couple innings. It was just wait to hear right now.
Yeah, and both of you guys coming off a full season, so I guess, Danny, no summer ball for you this year?
No, we there was a good group of us. Tyler was in that group initially until the draft, but there was a group of us that stayed back to work out with the freshmen and kind of get them used to everything while coaches were recruiting and stuff. So we're still here. Obviously, the guys that got drafted are gone and playing in their professional careers and stuff like that, but Tyler was a good influence on the freshmen while he was here, and obviously they still look up to him. But we're all just trying to get the freshmen used to it before we get back for the fall.
Yeah, and Tyler, you got, I guess, a little time off, but you're still working out, keeping the arm ready. So if you are designated to go play in the next week or two, you're ready to go. Your arm's ready to go.
Yeah. So I took 2 weeks off at the end of the season just to kind of relax, be with my family, and then I came back to ECU and hit the ground running again. And this week I'll build up again, and then hopefully Friday or Saturday I'll have my first bullpen with the Cardinals.
We've got quite a pipeline from ECU to St. Louis, and I know you weren't teammates with all these guys, Tyler, but going all the way back to Seth Maness, you got Evan Krasinski, Chris Holba, and of course Alec Burleson playing with the Cardinals right now. And Jamie's asking, have you talked to Alec at all? Have you talked about any mention of being an ECU guy there with that Cardinals
Tyler,
organization?
You got to tell him about the pipeline group chat you got put in right when you got there.
Yeah, I got a little pipeline group chat between the scout that drafted me and all those guys, and so that was pretty cool. Every time I say East Carolina, they always talk about how many guys they get out of there, which is awesome, but I haven't talked to Burley since the fall.
You kind of mentioned your Coach Godwin and leading up to the draft and the conversations. What were the conversations like with Coach post-draft? What did you guys talk about?
I just was thankful for everything that he's done for me and giving me the opportunity to be a Pirate. Always had my best interest in his mind, and it was almost like, all right, man, now the real work starts. Always feel free to come home. ECU's a new home for me, and I'm sure with his open door invite, I'm going to be coming back a lot in the fall to work out with the guys and just hang out with my old teammates.
Well, Danny, how about from your perspective? You hate to see your buddies go. You want the best for them, but also you want to win. So, what's all going through your mind when you see Moylan and Groves and Bradt, and we'll talk to Landon Ginn later this week when you see these guys move on.
It's unfortunate. I mean, you look at it as, I've gotten so close to Tyler, and obviously with Josh, they've been, with us for 3 years. I was freshman roommates with Groves, so we got super close as it was. But obviously you're happy for them because, they get to start their professional career. I mean, everybody's had that dream since they were little. Obviously, I wish they could have stayed to help us, try to get to Omaha. But like I said, I told Tyler when he left that I'm super happy for him, that he's very fortunate to be in the spot that he's in right now, and he needs to take full advantage of it. But I told him before he left, and Conch did the same thing, that he's got a spot on our couch whenever he gets back to Greenville. So but we're very excited that he's got the opportunity he has, and same with Landon and Josh, and it's a very cool thing to see guys that you play with, whether it be Gavin, Thomas Francisco, Norby, all those guys as they go on to play. It's nice to see them be successful for sure.
No doubt. And Tyler, you've done enough to this point to get drafted, get recognized, and now you try to take that next step. So I don't know, personally, what do you want to improve on? Has anybody there around those parts kind of talked to you about a plan on what they want to do with you pitching wise?
So the plan right now is just to work on spinning the ball early in the count, or even when I get behind in 2-0, 3-0 counts, to have the confidence to spin the ball in the zone there and steal a strike, but also playing to my strengths and throwing my fastball, at the top of the zone and just kind of letting it eat, and just playing off the fastball a lot with the breaking stuff and trusting the breaking stuff in any count, throwing it early in the count just to change the eyesight. One of the biggest things was, you don't have to be perfect with the breaking ball. You can just flip it in there. If it's below the zone, it gets called a ball, it's a ball. It doesn't matter if it's off the plate, it doesn't really matter. We just change the eye level, and we can also go back to the breaking ball or, flood the zone with a heater.
I remember talking to Garrett Saylor at the beginning of the year and asking him about spin rate and all that good stuff, and he's like, yeah, just kind of throw it. And then and everybody's different. How much do you guys pay attention to that analytics side? How much of it is just going off the basics that you've done your whole life? What about you, Tyler?
So a lot of it's feel stuff, but it's always good to look at the TrackMan report and the spin stuff to kind of back up the feel. At the end of the day, you need to get outs. But if the spin is there, the spin numbers are good and it's spinning how it should, and you feel comfortable with it, it kind of just boosts your confidence up to another level.
And Danny, your ball's got some spin on it, so how much do you pay attention to that stuff?
I know this might be hard to believe, but I don't look into that stuff much at all. I know Tyler and Landon Ginn and Spivey looked into that stuff a lot, but I just never really found, maybe it's just because I don't really understand it that well, but I don't really try to look into that stuff. It just kind of fills my head with stuff that I try not to worry about. I just try to go out there and throw strikes and pitch and get out. So that's kind of what I base, that kind of stuff off of. So,
Danny Beal here in studio going to be interning with us, and Tyler Bradt interning with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's not a bad summer internship as he's moving his way up the ranks. So, Tyler, we wish you the best, man. And just once again, kind of capping this off, where can we look for you? Maybe potentially on the field pretty soon, you think?
Hopefully by next week I'll know where I'm going, and I'll make sure to reach out with intern Dan there, and I'll let him know so he can pass the message along. But hopefully I'm with either low A or high A, and finish the season out with them, and then start the off season.
Awesome stuff. Well, Tyler, we wish you the best, man, and we'll be rooting for you back here in Greenville. We'll keep in touch and talk to you again down the road, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. There's Tyler Bradt, and pretty cool, Danny. When you see these guys, you say, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there one day.
Yeah, it's like I was saying earlier, it's really cool to see them kind of go on and have that success, and obviously it's been a dream of mine, but I think that from my point of view and my situation, it's a little different from theirs, and I'm looking forward to my senior year here and looking forward to hopefully helping us get to Omaha. But I'm so incredibly happy for them to be in the position they're in. It's nice to see friends become future brothers and teammates, and see where they are and make money playing a game at the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, our buddy former Pirate Brandon Manning said Danny Bill's dad is one of the best fans in the stadium. Great dude. Scotty is the man. So there's a shout out to Scotty Bill.
He's gonna eat that up. Yeah, I get a lot of grief, I guess, for lack of a better word, for the stuff that he says to the other team. But he's you can always hear him on the broadcast screaming. He's every single one of our players' biggest fans. He's he's very nice when it comes to complimenting. He's kind of the leader of the crowd behind our dugout, I guess, for the season. But he is cheering every single time for all the players. He's not a homer, the classic baseball dad where he only cheers for his son and everybody else isn't as good. But he's a big fan of ECU, and he's very grateful for everything that we've done.
Awesome stuff. We got intern Micah, intern Dan / Danny Field. Danny joining us here at Pirate Radio this summer. So excited to talk some sports and also have them learn kind of behind the scenes stuff. And we'll get to know them more as we move along. Let's take